What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? So I got tagged in a post here, and we're going to talk about this post because they're pretending right now that for some reason nobody wants to see USTD. I'm going to dunk on these hoes because dum-dums be dum-dums, dog. So if you like this type of content, you like to see me dunking on these salt-ass hoes, then make sure you hit the like button on the way in. If you don't like it, if you think for some reason that math is not math, then make sure that you hit the dislike button, dum-dum. You know where it is. It's the one that starts with a D. You know, kind of like your mom. All right, here we go. Okay, so Sean Lunkmove says, "It's not what the community wanted. The community, do not surround yourself with yes men, David. It has made a mistake twice before." Okay, so that's what we have right now. As we go down here, we've got Battle Force and Sean Lunkmove going through it, and then Sean decides to tag me and says, "Also strange how Believes Crypto leaves this part of the screenshot out when blaming validators. Show me on the chart." Right there, Mr. B. Dum-dum, the chart is not these validator votes, but we'll get to that in 1 second. The chart's right here, dum-dum. The chart's right here. It hasn't changed. It's still at the same place. And by the way, if you can't find it, go to any Luna Classic chart and look at the very bottom. There you'll find where we are right now, okay? But that's not really the point. The point to it was, all these people are voting no. I don't know why you think it's going to be yes. Okay, so let's get rid of that one, dum-dum, and let's go over to this. This is what he's talking about right now. There was a quote-unquote revote for this, right? Now, we already knew that it was not going to pass. We already know that these seedy, shady scumbag validators, we already know they're going to destroy whatever chance there is for progress on this chain. So what they're talking about is right here on this quote unquote revote where they asked, hey, why don't the validators sit this one out and let the people decide, right? That's what was asked for on this one. What did they do? The validators, all the worst validators came out and they started voting no with veto right away. Now remember, only Greenpeace was the major one that voted no with veto. Now everybody's voting no with veto because now they have a point to prove. Then they go over to their personal accounts and they start voting no with veto again, right? Well, all the people who already know that they had been tricked by these scumbag validators, they're not voting. Why would they vote? They already know that it's not going to pass. They want to tip their hat to this, right? So here it is, right here. This is the one that they say, well, he's not going to show that one because it's not going to be, whatever they say, that's the way they sound in my brain. Now, and they're right. They're right here. Look at this. No with veto is 40%. Delegators, 78% voting no with veto. Wait, so you mean you guys are voting no with veto and then you're switching over to your personal wallets and voting the same way? What is this? What are we, 9 years old? Are we in first fucking grade here? I guess 9 years old would be third grade, wouldn't it? Whatever, you get my point. Maybe it's fourth grade. Who the hell knows? Here's the important part. Here's the original vote. Here's the original vote before we knew that you grifter pieces of shit were going to start trying to make sure that there's no progress on the chain. Here is where it mattered when it first happened. And the answer to your dumb question was 20% of the validators voted yes, 48% voted no, 3% voted no with veto, but here we are, dums. On the validator portion over here, 52% of the people that delegate with you voted yes. And this is not a pretend vote. This is not a pretend vote where they ask validators who can't help themselves to sit one on the sideline and shut the fuck up about it. Over 50% of people voted yes on the actual proposal, dum-dums. So why do I keep calling you dum-dums? It's on the screen right now. So when you come at me, and by the way, it's fine to come at me. I got big shoulders, right? You're coming at me at the bottom of the chart with bullshit data, dum-dum. That's why I'm doing this. 52% of delegators voted yes. You, the scumbags, you rejected the will of the people. Now, if I can move on from you dum-dums at this point and get back to talking about Terra Luna Classic, that'd be real swell. Okay, so sign up, subscribe to the channel if you want to. TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Hope you bet on Louisville this weekend. Hope you bet on the Chicago Bears this weekend. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you didn't bet on the Baltimore Ravens. Ugh, gross. TerraPort.finance for all of your utility, for all of your meme, for all of your coins on the Terra Luna Classic blockchain. I said coins, I meant tokens. DEX's Terraport business is starting to pick up a little bit, up $21,000 in the last 24 hours, $11,000 on TerraSwap, starting to see a little bit of movement. Remember, yesterday was only $864 on TerraSwap, so now we're starting to see a little bit of movement here. I don't know how far this goes. I don't know how high this goes. I don't know how it goes. By the way, only $10 traded on my platform here, TerraPump.fun. How dare you? Now, let's go back through here as a reminder that despite the fact that these scumbag losers that are validators that hate you, they hate your progress, that they vote against you. We just showed you that. 52% of you voted yes to the proposal, and only 20% of them voted yes. So let's see what these dirtbags are doing. And if you see Jesus is Lord in here building anything, I'm going to be super fucking surprised, right? They don't build anything. They don't do anything other than stop your progress. That's their sole goal, is to prevent you from making money. Bang up job so far. Now, L1 code unforked from Orbit Labs Lunk Goblin's Galactic Shift. New stablecoin proposal did not pass. New projects added for Terra Classic.money, Orbitar Wallet, the IA Trading, and David Skinder. Juris Protocol and Selenium represent Terra Classic at ETH Warsaw. By the way, some content coming out for Selenium. I'm going to take you through that and show you exactly what it is. I was given the white papers and everything that I need in order to craft a video for you guys. So Juris Protocol starts to list on multiple exchanges. Juris, Terraport, Terravita, Terra Casino, Lunk Goblins, Unicode work together to integrate Terra Classic on another exchange. Terravita and Terra Casino coordinate and sponsor Web3 global media presentations for Terra Classic projects, including me, which is down at the bottom, but you know, I'm at the bottom. God damn it. Anyway, Terraport upgrading governance and rewards. Selenium is about to launch. Terravita and the post-human DVS labs collab with Terra Casino.io. Cosmos ecosystem open hands to Terra Classic. Uncode, I keep saying Unicode, but Uncode finalizes information page listed on newest centralized exchange. Lunk Daily creates community news section. The Thea Trading aggregator launches. Orbitar Wallet launches. Garuda DeFi. By the way, if you get an Orbitar wallet, let me know how you like it, and you know, maybe we'll start to look at that. Galactic Shift, by the way, awesome game, goes to testnet, and Terravita collabs with coordinators using testing. Terraport, Terra Millionaire Clubs gain more members. Terraport is moved from assessment zone on MEXC official. So listen, there's plenty of stuff going on. Vegas Morph and Galactic Shift working on relaunching the market module to swap Lunk and USTC on L1 after governance approval. By the way, because there's no stablecoin in there, it just makes it a little more wonky to happen because you don't have a stablecoin. So you are subject to market waves, and you just have to do a better job of your pairing between Lunk and USTC and make sure that if Lunk is pumping, that you're in that one, and then swap it to USTC if USTC is starting to pump. And I mean, you know, eyeball it and do the best you can, because that's all you have right now. Okay. And at least we're recognizing that I am the self-declared sexiest man alive. Hoes, look at you. Woo, baby. I don't know what any of that means except Ric Flair portion. So anyway, there's a lot being built. There's a lot going on. I tell you that I think USTD is or was important, and I tell you that because it is or was important, and that these validators have basically shanked you and stabbed you in the back, stabbed you in the front, stabbed you in the side, and then tried to get Sean the Lunk Moon Boy to lie about it, saying that, hey, on this revote, everybody's voting no with veto. Yeah, they're voting no with veto because it's only you weirdos who go to your no with veto validator and then your no with veto delegator wallet in order to do it. Dumb. We all see it. We already saw the vote. We already know what the people wanted, and we know that you hate the people. So what are we doing? Now, on CoinHall, Juris up 19%, MBA up 33%, and Terra up 18% in their pairing. Lenny Lunk down quite a bit, 92% over 7 days. Ow. So I think mostly we've got positive movement here. And of course, Juris with a 10 million market cap, you know, that's kind of the jewel in the crown at this point. So, you know, hopefully we get a nice pump off of Garuda. We get a nice pump off of Juris. You know, we start to get a couple of these with these big market caps, or the larger market caps start to get some movement there. And, you know, maybe that brings about a revival. It's by the way, it's not. It's not because we don't have a stable coin. I mean, you know, everybody has a stable coin except us. You know what I mean? But we're protecting. All right, so back to the proposal. You can see here who hates your progress. These are the people right here who are voting against your community interest. They are the ones who decided you don't know anything. You're not smart enough to do anything. Dum-dum. These are the people who hate your progress, okay? So remember that. And remember, again, how everybody voted. Never forget right there, this is how everybody voted. Never forget that. And when they try to show you, well, on the revote where we were doing everything we can to no with veto this, why did everybody vote no with veto at that point? Well, because you're validators and you're losers and you're dirtbags and you're scumbags, and you went from your validators to your delegators in order to do that because you wanted to see that. You don't want to see progress. I mean, we understand. And now the people who wanted something, the people, they're sitting it on the sidelines because they know that you will never allow Terra Luna Classic to succeed. They see it. They see it. But will they change their delegation to people who care about this blockchain, or are they going to leave it in the hands of the scumbags? That's really the question. Now, let's talk price action, because ultimately what this comes down to is all of crypto is basically like a Ponzi scheme. All we're looking for is new investors to add into the bag and start to move up. And then, of course, as new investors come in and start to buy, then we, who are trapped in a downward situation because we bought up here, something like that, we're going to sell at a loss, or we're going to sell at a small profit just to try to get out, just to try to limit our exposure, right? That's what's going on right now. And we have to consider right now that we're nothing more than a meme coin from that context. Now, because of that, and because we're down here at the lowest of the lows, remember, the absolute lowest of the low in the last 3 years was 46.34, which we were at over here in February when the whole market started to collapse after altcoin season. And then we just have not moved up from there. So here we sit right here, like these guys are doing such a bang up job as validators that there we are. Right? So what's going to happen here? Well, again, you guys have been annoyed by the fact that I'm telling you that about the only trading that we're doing is in this tiny little range right here, and that maybe we'll get this run up here because guess what? Sellers are going to step in when we get there because there's nothing in 3 years. These boneheads have done nothing for you. 3 years, nothing except shoot down any proposal that might cause people to start to flock to the ecosystem. Everything. So what are we looking at? We're looking at this move right here into the 407 range. And then if we can get a breakout, if we can get a little motivation, if we can be the meme coin, it's crazy to me that these guys pretend like they're doing anything. You know what I mean? Like all they're doing is just turning Luna Classic into a goddamn meme coin, right? They don't do anything. It doesn't do anything. All they're doing is just grifting you every month for your fees and burning the liquidity. And by the way, there's the whole chart. Stop me when I'm telling lies, but you can't. You can't. All you can do is just make shit up as you go. By the way, it doesn't get any worse than USTC. I've told you before, I don't have any faith in USTC because I don't think USTC has a future because these guys have done such a bang up job of whatever they're pretending to do on this chain. So I don't think that there's going to be any future for USTC. And I've said that to you and I've maintained that to you. And guess what? Look at me being the rightest motherfucker in this place. It's doing exactly what I told you it was going to do. Now, what I didn't tell you was going to happen was that these hoes would stab you in the back with Terra Luna Classic. I didn't tell you that because I didn't think that would happen. I thought that some of these validators cared, And by the way, that's probably my mistake, thinking that these guys gave a shit about you, okay? Now, that being said, let's be very, very clear. I care about you. I care about your bag. I have told you publicly the wallet's down below. You can even see the transactions. You know exactly how much Terra Luna Classic I have. I only have 20 million. And I say that, sometimes I tell you I have 10 million because I originally started with 10. Then I had like 15 million. Now I got 20 million. Okay. So I'm not a whale. If this thing 40Xs to where I said it's going to be, that's not even life-changing money. That's not even a month's payroll. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not about the money. Or let me rephrase it. It's always about the money for me, but it's about your money. I already make my money. It's about your money. It's about me thinking that you deserve people who love a blockchain and to build on that blockchain and to make you money because you trusted them. And by the way, we don't have leadership. These fucking dildos, they made sure of that. They made sure of that. But this is all about you putting your investment into something where you have a group of people that you are supposed to trust. And the only people that you can trust over here are the validators, right? So you entrusted validators to do the job to make something happen, and they betray you at every given opportunity. And you allow it because you're the one that gives them the money to do it with. So what am I ultimately saying? They're grifting you, okay? Every month they're cashing out. Every month they're taking their profit because they're making profit off of your money, okay? When they give you a little bit of Luna Classic for you staking it, you're making peanuts. You're getting just this little chump change, right? They're getting a little bit more, right? And they're using that little bit more to pay their bills every month. So they're cashing out thousands of dollars every month on Terra Luna Classic, so much so that OKX delisted us. And that's where all the burns came from the other day, because the market makers moved all of their Terra Luna Classic over into Binance because OKX is no longer going to support it, because there's not enough trade volume, because these guys are doing such a bang up job of making sure that they're protecting your wallet. They ain't protecting you. They ain't protecting shit. They're not protecting the chain either. Now, down 13% on the day, up 9% on the day in trade volume. And then finally, we have 2 billion that were burned in the last 7 days. We need to burn 2 billion per week at a minimum. And we're not really doing that, but guess what? We got 377 million burned so far today. Do you want to know why that is? It's the first of the month. And that's all Binance could muster up on the burn. Now, your validators are your leaders. How are your validators doing so far? You decide. But at the end of this, if you're not, by the way, we're delayed into this. You're probably not even listening at this point. But if you are listening, then you need to share this kind of content. Somebody cut this out and do something about it. Like, you need to tell everybody who's getting stabbed in the back by their validator that they need to delegate with somebody who supports what they want. Okay, if we don't see massive change in it, then it's just a dead project. The end. And here's the thing. They don't care, because they're still going to pull out the liquidity every single month. They're still going to cash out. They're still going to pay their bills. They're still going to reach in and throw that money into their pocket, and reach in and throw that money in their pocket every single month, as long as you allow them. Now, I hate to say that the only salvation that we would have would be somebody like AutoStake actually taking a moment and deciding that they want to be on the side of the good guys, but they're the number 2 validator and they sat and abstained on the sidelines. I'm not making this about them, but we're going to need to see people who care about this chain stepping up and doing something about this chain. There you have it. That is the only way. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're Sean, Luna, Clooney, Mooney, whatever, I can't remember what his fucking name was, but if you're that guy over there, show all the facts. Don't just show the retarded part. It's not financial advice. I'm always right.